Has anyone actually asked themselves the question what they think that the 2K24 of WWE 2K24 MyRISE will look like? Like, what is WWE 2K24's MyRISE going to be this time? We are going to most likely, in my opinion, we're going to stick to the two MyRISE career stories. We're going to stick to the male MyRISE story and the female MyRISE story. But that's about as far as I know that they're going to do. What would you guys think would be cool? Because the last, good story that I remember that wasn't, SVR 2011 was, the, what's it called? So I don't know if you guys recall this or, remember this, but there is a story in WWE 12, and it is, so it's a story where it was, WCW versus WWE, and it was Jacob Cass. You would play as your own Caw, and your name would be Jacob Cass. So, and you're basically the leader of WWE trying to take down WCW as it was taking over WWE, and I believe it even took over the Royal Rumble or something. So it was interesting. It was interesting. It was a very interesting story to play, and I really enjoyed playing it as a kid. I was like, whoa. So, I don't think we're going to get anything like that. I don't think, I think honestly for MyRISE is going to continue with the format of, just having its own story. What I think they wanted it originally to be was, a little bit less linear, and it would be oh, you get to carve your own path and kind of do whatever you want. And honestly, it's been kind of, I don't really know how to put it, because I've played these other MyRISE modes, and once 2K19's MyRISE started to, or sorry, I should say my career in this case, 2K19's My Career started off with the Buzz story, and Buzz was it was its own story. It wasn't really anything many choices that you can make. It was just its own story. And then after that, they just kind of continued with that format. They were just you know what, we're just gonna keep coming up with our own little stories and making you guys have some linear progression. So MyRISE is no longer, it seems to be you can make mostly your own decisions. It's mostly just kind of a story that you have to play out. And to be honest, Road to WrestleMania was kind of like that too, except a little bit different. You can choose who you want to get in a backstage brawl with, or stuff like that. So it was pretty fun. And then a lot of these Road to WrestleMania stories were kind of similar to this. Now if the stories were really, really cool, then it would be something. It would be oh sick, I get to go back and play this awesome story that I really enjoyed. I don't know if you guys enjoyed this year's MyRISE. I thought it was actually kind of interesting. I thought this year's MyRISE was interesting, where you got fired, and then, spoiler alert by the way, but I think most people have probably finished at least that MyRISE, and you get fired and you gotta work your way back up. I thought the storyline was actually pretty interesting, although it's just that now I don't really have the incentive to go back and play. The only reason I would go back and play MyRISE is because they have some things that are locked under it. And to be honest, I don't have any issue with playing through MyRISE and unlocking things that you couldn't unlock in the game. I don't have an issue with that, because at least you can play it in the game. So, I don't really have too much of an issue with that. I think it's kind of a cool incentive to play MyRISE, but, there's that. And because it's not an unfun mode to play. It's not a boring mode per se, in my opinion. I thought at least this year's was okay. But what can 2K24 have? So I'm kind of torn, because I don't know if they're gonna have you have this maybe you get mentored by a WWE legend. Maybe it's The Rock, or some other WWE legend, or something like that. And then maybe they couldn't beat Roman Reigns, and then they train you and then now you're that guy that beat. I don't know. I'm just talking some nonsense right now. But what would you guys want to see in next year's MyRISE, if MyRISE is going to be a thing, which I think it will be? What do you guys want to see in WWE 2K24's MyRISE? I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.